This is Josh Tikenko reacting to the call for special session to address the Government of Guam Association for Retired Persons, or GARP-SPEMA, contract extension. Department of Public Health Director James Gillen says nothing was worked on at the last minute in servicing the island's 12 senior centers. Gillen says GARP-SPEMA knew since October Public Health's reduced budget would not be able to support them at its current funding level. Even employees with the organization came up with several different scenarios back then.
That supposedly was sent to the board, and the board of SPEMA, GARP-SPEMA, rejected it. Again, it's their right; they have a contract. So they finally, I guess, they finally realized that this was going to happen, and they said, "We'll do it for this amount, but what can we do about the contract that ends?" And I said, "Wow, I will try to see if there's any way we can extend this contract on a month-to-month basis."
So Gillen wrote to the Attorney General's office, GSA, and the Governor's legal office for legal advice because the only opportunity was to declare a state of emergency.
The advice from most of from the council was that a senior center's operation is really not an emergency. We're talking about, if you have to purchase ambulance on a long-term or a short-term basis, that's, life-threatening kinds of things. Yeah, you can do it, but it would be really difficult to get that one to work.
Gillen also met Speaker Judy Wampat, Senator Adolfo Palacios, and Senator Dennis Rodriguez last week, which led to the spawning of an emergency legislation. As far as he's concerned, he just wants to make sure service for the seniors continues, whether it's GARP-SPEMA or the Mayor's Council.
I support a solution to the problem. The solution is, do we have senior center operations on March 1st?
But he also makes a point that even if more funding was found for GARP-SPEMA somewhere else, it's not a good practice to transfer money from one area of the government to the other when other services are just as important.
To continue to have that practice is really poor management. You cannot rely on somebody's excess money or borrowing from somebody's fund, which really just reduces them to bare bones, to take care of another program. It's really not good management.
Meanwhile, Vice Mayor Robert Hoffman says he's taken aback and surprised by the legislature's action to hold a special session on this issue.
It's being very reactionary. I think if they really sit down and get to know the details, the recommendations by the people at the boots on the ground at the SPEMA office, they have been making the recommendation. They gave 3 scenarios of how they can save money, but all the scenarios were rejected by the board of SPEMA. So we don't understand why they're being saying, oh, we're in doom and gloom and surprise. They knew it was coming. And I think if they've acted on the scenarios in October, we wouldn't be where we are today.
He is also surprised by the legislature's comments about funding concerns when Public Health worked out the details with them.
The money will come from the Public Health to the Mayor's Council, which will fund the employee who will now become a recreation leader, just like one of our regular staff that we have here. Many of us have gymnasiums and youth center staff. Same thing, and those people that we're going to be picking up, or hopefully going to be picking up, were originally the original center managers for some of the places here. So there's going to be continuity there.
He reiterates they are not taking over food or transportation contracts. That's taken care of already. And if GARP-SPEMA continues its contract through legislation, Hoffman wants to make it clear the mayors are not the bad guys.
If they're willing to accept it at that level, all this is going to be procedural to extend the contract for an additional 3 months at the level that we accepted to do that, which is $60,000 a month. So if they're willing to do that, we're fine with it. But, we're being made out in the media to be like, oh, it's the mayors, we don't know anything, we don't know what we're doing. And that's so wrong and so untrue.
Hoffman recommended we talk to the seniors, so we did. Lou Cannon and Kathy Castino frequent the Sinahaña Senior Center often. Both tell us as long as it's open and they can socialize with their friends and play bingo, they don't care who manages the center.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We like him. For me, it doesn't matter who runs the center, as long they take care of the manangko here,
Yeah.
And also as long they open, the center instead of close the center.
Right.
It doesn't matter if the mayor is going to run it. That's good for me.
Castino adds the only thing she is concerned about is losing some of the managers of the centers, but otherwise, as long as the manangko are taken care of, she's happy.
Yeah, we'll see, starting on the 1st, we'll see how they handle us or run that center.
Right.
For me, I'm happy,
Yeah.
It's just we hate to see our manager, go.